Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Beastly Eel, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the latest episode of My Adventures with Superman, Season 3, Episode 3, which takes place with a lot of Odd Light Day. So apparently, Jimmy is trying to counteract the idea that Kara is going on all these dates, so he decides to make it a contest and go on a dating app called Worms, where the idea is they used science to find the perfect match for you. So Lois thinks it's a bad idea and basically stated that he should be spending his time trying to figure out who is causing like transformations, transmodifications to people's DNA, and figure that out because that was the job that was assigned to him for his journalism. And he was very much against it, being like, no, Lois, I feel like I should be out there trying to find love and really helping out. Clark is like, whatever you want to do, Jimmy, but I'm staying out of it. Doesn't want anything to do with it at all, mostly due to the fact that he is happily taken, but also the fact that he would like to be just left alone. Granted, originally it was supposed to be that he was going to be spending time with Lois. That backfired mostly due to the fact that Lois was helping Kara deal with her Jimmy situation and trying to get back with him. And so then Clark decided he was going to basically enjoy his time by himself. So Jimmy goes to Worms to find his date. Superman has to deal with all these different issues that interrupts his alone time, which I find to be hilarious because in his alone time, all he's doing is working on his miniatures. That freaks Lois out enough, which I also find to be interesting as well. We have Kara and Lois basically talking about dating in general and how Lois really does not want to feel like she's being held down in any way and really doesn't want that to be the case. And Kara's just kind of like, then why don't you say something? Why are you being so weird about it? Which I thought was very interesting from Kara's point of view. Granted, she wasn't saying it in a mean way, she was just saying it in general. While all this is going on, we have Jimmy on his date with the person that he was supposed to be looking for to begin with, who was transforming him into a wolf man creature. So basically, he wants out of this date completely, tries to get Clark's attention, but Clark is like, I only want to be interrupted by real emergencies, which is where we have all those other emergencies kind of come up where he actually deals with. A little bit of comedy in there. We then find out that Jimmy's date is actually Giganta, which, to be fair, I thought was going to be Cersei, mostly due to the fact that with her transforming mostly men into creatures, that sounds more like Cersei. However, it works. It worked for this anyway. So she then grows big. Jimmy turns back into a human thanks to the help of worms, and he begins to get taken away by Giganta, basically in a King Kong-esque situation where he gets brought to this massive building. We then have Clark trying to deal with Giganta, which I thought was very interesting. During this, he's just trying to figure out what's going on and everything else. He's able to get Giganta to let go of Jimmy, and they arrest her and everything else, and she's taken into custody. During this, LexCorp was what's it called? Oh my gosh, robbed. And Superman gets there, but Hank Hemshaw is also there. However, we see him be much more aggressive than we've ever seen him, where he's actually just bashing people in. And Superman's there not to necessarily protect the criminals, but basically against the brutality that is Hank Hemshaw right now. And Hemshaw's like, oh, you want to protect the villains? And Superman's like, it's not so much that. I don't think they should be attacked in this way. Like, there's better ways of handling this than the way you are. They get into a fight. Superman wins without a problem. Although they really don't go toe to toe, Superman also stops the villains from taking the technology from LexCorp and takes it back. Lex comes in and basically Deathstroke comes in to stop Hemshaw Hank Himshaw basically stating that he's scaring the public and it's not a good idea to be acting this way. And Hank's like, I don't care. I'm the hero. I don't really care what these people think. And it's like, you really should be. Begins to attack Deathstroke. Deathstroke gets his butt kicked. That's when Lex pulls the plug and causes an electric current to stop Hank Himshaw and bringing him down completely. They take Himshaw out of there mostly due to the fact that they're concerned about what could be happening next. During this, that's kind of the end of the story. We get like it's not really an after credit scene, but it's like the next scene for what we're assuming is going to happen in the next episode. Is apparently in the future, we see a bald Lex working with a Jimmy Olsen and what we're assuming is Jimmy Olsen's son, along with Superboy, who I am also assuming is Clark and Lois's son. They're being attacked by these creatures that could either be Kryptonian robots, Brainiac, or even white Martians. It is unclear in this snippet. They wipe out Jimmy and his son in a second. Lex sets up a watch for Superboy to go back into the past to make sure none of this ever happens and sends Superboy into the past. However, right before he goes in the past, Lex Luthor is also vaporized. And it ends with Superboy disappearing from the future, and we're assuming going into the past. So obviously the assumption is next episode we are going to be seeing Superboy in the present, and seeing what's going to be happening in that, and also how Lois takes to the fact that she might have a son with Clark. But we'll have to wait and see about that one. But for now, let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eels signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.